Hey everybody, it's Jim from Cigars. This video is about developing your cigar taste palette. But before we get into that, I just want to make it clear that cigar smoking is a hobby. It's supposed to be enjoyable, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be relaxing. So if it isn't your thing to sit and analyze the flavor of cigars while you're smoking it, more power to you if you just want to sit and relax and enjoy the cigar. Myself, I actually do that quite a bit where if I'm not reviewing a cigar or if it's one that I've had quite a few of already, I really like to just light it up and turn on a video or listen to some music and enjoy myself and don't think too much about the flavor of the cigar. Feel free to make your own rules on that. Smoke cigars the way you want.
I only got one rule. I don't play by the rules.
But on the other hand, sometimes it's helpful to analyze the flavor of a cigar. If I'm smoking a cigar for the first time, I really will pay a lot of attention to the flavor because I want to know if it's a flavor profile that I like, what's unique about it or not unique about it, how it matches up with other cigars I smoke, and whether I want to buy more of those cigars. With that in mind, let's look at some tips I have on how to develop and improve your cigar flavor tasting palette. One thing that really helps, I found, is to kind of decide you're going to be mindful smoking the cigar. You're not going to get distracted by texting and stuff like that. So paying attention, of course, is first and foremost. And to get into that mindful mindset, I found a helpful thing is to change your smoking pattern. Take a deeper draw or hold it in your mouth a little bit longer. And as you hold it in your mouth, kind of dissect the flavor. And as you're exhaling, pay more attention to the taste than you normally would. So just little things to stay mindful and keep your attention on tasting the flavors of the cigar. Extension of that is retrohaling. And I have a video here of myself demonstrating retrohaling, and it's not my strong suit, I'll tell you that. When you're retrohaling, you bring in your olfactory sense, which is your sense of smell, which is really important in identifying taste. So here's how to retrohale. What we want to do is we want to get a decent amount of smoke into our mouth, and then you kind of don't swallow it, but kind of work it back with your tongue to the back of your mouth, and then exhale as sharp as you can. If you're like me, you may not get very much smoke coming out of your nose, but it only takes a little bit to get a good taste profile. So here we go. So basically you get a little bit of smoke out your nose, and you'll notice that some of the tastes that weren't hitting your tongue at all, when they go through your nose, you get quite a different sensation. If you're just going to learn how to retrohale, I would start by using Connecticut cigars. Don't pick a real strong, bold cigar to do, because it's a little hard on your nose. Use retrohaling sparingly, because it can be a little bit hard on the old schnoz there and give you some trouble. So do it if you need to and if you want to. But again, you can experience cigars in a lot of different ways. Okay, so now you've kind of had a chance to smoke your cigar for a while, been mindful of the flavors that been mindful that there are some flavors that you're experiencing, but now let's try to identify those flavors. And the best tool to do that is called the Wheel of Cigar Flavors. And there's a lot of companies that publish this. A lot of cigar sellers have one that they publish. They're all sort of similar though. And how it works is you sort of start toward the middle of the wheel. And you see in this particular one, there are 6 different main categories, which are coffee notes, nutty notes, sweet notes, wood and vegetable notes, natural notes, and herb and spice notes. In this particular diagram, I find it helpful to start in the lower left corner in the red or green categories, especially in the wood, because a lot of cigars have a wood base of some kind, whether it's cedar or oak or something like that. And usually that's closely followed by something like earth or leather. Those are some very common flavor profiles. Then normally I go over to the sweet notes. If it's a sweet cigar, I'll look at that and I'll say, okay, what is that sweet taste I'm getting? It's really just kind of a checklist we go through. Is it cocoa, caramel, dark chocolate? Find the one that most closely approximates what you're tasting. And sometimes you'll read in reviews, they combine it together. They'll say it's like caramel coated cashews. So now we're going up into the nut category. And you've heard some of my reviews. I'll kind of go far afield and say it tastes like coffee with cream with a hint of chestnuts or something like that. Once you get the hang of this, you can really get more sophisticated and start to combine all these flavors together. Another helpful thing to do is look at reviews and see what other people think about the flavors of that cigar. But I'd be very careful of that. If you disagree, don't feel bad about it. Cigar smoking is a very subjective thing, and your taste buds might be different from somebody else's, and the enjoyment you're getting out of that cigar is going to be just as good or better than them, but you might have a difference of opinion on what the taste is. Last but not least, let's talk about the term finish. And what that means, it's the taste left in your mouth after you exhale. And it can be several minutes after you exhale. Pay attention to that. And also, that's where your pairing of a beverage with a cigar might come into play. Your pairing of a beverage can really affect the finish. And sometimes the beverage combined with the finish makes a real special taste of some kind. So that's something to think about as well. All right, that's all I got for you today at Cigars, Cigars, Cigars. My name is Jim. I will see you next time.